Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Appreciate you taking time out of, I'm sure is a busy schedule, to be with us to celebrate this occasion. My name is Dave Hoekstra. I'm a member of the City Council here in Holland, and we are here to welcome Senor Roberto Nicolas Vasquez, who is the Consul General, or Consul of Mexico in Detroit. It's a bit, excuse me, I'm reading this. A bit of background on Mr. Vasquez. He's currently Consul of Mexico in Detroit. He has in the past been Coordinator of Political Affairs in North America, Director for U.S. Political Affairs, North American Desk, Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Deputy Consul of Mexico in Orlando. He's worked in Dallas. So a number of posts he has occupied in his duties as representing Mexico in the United States. Obviously, we have a very storied Dutch tradition and heritage here, but we also celebrate our Mexican and Latin heritage, which is also very important to this community. And so we're very pleased and honored to have you here today to share some thoughts, I believe, on economic partnerships between Mexico and the United States. Also, what has been becoming a bit of a tradition here is that we extend small gifts to our visitors. So as you come forward, sir, on behalf of these, yes, thank you. On behalf of the citizens of Holland, we want to extend this small but very functional gift to you. It's a cutting board made by a company here in downtown Holland, Santo Ani. So you can use it to cut stuff up on or put drinks on or whatever you'd like to do. Anyway, we give it to you with our deep appreciation and our thanks. So
thank you so much.
Up to you. Thank you. Please welcome. And sir.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. Really appreciate the invitation to address Mayor Nathan Brooks, distinguished members of the Holland City Council, community leaders, dear friends. I am honored with the invitation to address you today. Mexico's relationship with Michigan is much more vibrant and dynamic than many people think. Mexican nationals have been working in and contributing to the Michigan society since 1920s. They arrived to work in the auto industry and in the railroads here in West Michigan. Today, Mexicans are amongst the best engineers in the automotive sector, but also the best seasonal agricultural workers, prosperous business people, excellent researchers, community leaders, and prolific artists, to name just a few sectors. The Latino population in Michigan is close to 6%, but in West Michigan, that percentage is bigger. In Kent County, it's around 11%. In Ottawa County, where it's most of Holland, it's around 10%. We're talking of 70,000 people in Kent County and 29,000 people in Ottawa County, all according to the last U.S. Census. In the Consulate of Mexico, based in the service we give to people in the area, we can say that around 75% of that universe is of Mexican descent. Those numbers are projected to increase in the coming years, along with the number of Latino-owned businesses, like supermarkets, restaurants, shops, and services that invigorate the neighborhoods they open. Latinos in general, and we Mexicans in particular, share common values of faith, are family-oriented, take pride of our entrepreneurial spirit, as well as our cultural traditions. There is a lot of room to grow this relationship. We have an increasing trade relation between Mexico and Michigan, which in 2002 broke a new record and reached $71 billion. To put this into perspective, consider the new and very sleek Gordie Howe Bridge, which is under construction between Detroit and Windsor. By the time its construction is completed, it will have cost $5.7 billion. With the amount that Mexico and Michigan trade, 12 of those bridges could be built each year. Today, I am hopeful that this relationship continue to grow, that Michiganders and Mexicans will carry on recognizing the value that each has and the contributions they make for the well-being of our families, that we may expand this vigorous relationship to more areas such as cooperation in education and academia, science and technology, and cultural relations. In the consulate, we are already taking steps in that direction. We are promoting talks between Mexican and Michigan universities to explore new ways of collaborations. So far, we have on the table students and faculty exchange programs, joint research in medical engineering and medical and engineering fields, dual programs of bachelor or master degrees, and support to our Mexican Women Entrepreneur Program. The sky is the limit to how much we can do together. I encourage people here present to think big when thinking about the possibilities. I know for a fact that Mexican diaspora and business people are already doing so. Thank you so much. I would like to go a little bit on this presentation that we have. I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. Oh yeah, I did. This is what I talk about at the beginning. The relationship that Michigan has with Mexican nationals goes to 1920s when the automotive industry began, and at that time they were coming. People working in the plants, they needed a lot of people, and obviously Mexican nationals were attracted to that, as well as in the construction of railroads. That Kalamazoo Railroad, you know very well that it was during the 1920s, required a lot of people that came here, Mexicans included. Here we can see the top 5 counties with Hispanic population in Michigan. Wayne County, Kent County, Oakland County, Ottawa County, and Ingham County. These counties are with the most concentration of Hispanics. The city which has the most concentration of Hispanic Latinos is the city next to Grand Rapids. I forgot. Wyoming. Wyoming has a 38% Latino population. And of those 38% of that universe, around 80% are Mexican nationals. We have a strong relationship as well with that city, going out to schools, bringing books in Spanish, so we can engage the parents in the education of the children. Because sometimes when there's this broke line of communication between schools and parents, the kids lag behind. But it is very important for us bringing those books in those schools in Wyoming. The percentage of people from Mexican origin is huge. You see those schools that they have around 85% kids that have Mexican descent. So it is for us really important to have this communication with cities that have already a Mexican diaspora between their borders, so we can see how we can help in solving some problems that they may have, or try to avoid the problems. Let's act before some problem presents, and try to educate people that is already there and make them integrate better. In Michigan, around 3.3% of Michigan Latinos are eligible for vote, and that's that is projected to increase in this slide that we have here. It was done before the pandemic. Obviously, that percentage already increased. The spending power of the Hispanics in Michigan is $5.7 billion, and the tax contribution is around 600 million now. So it is a big contribution that we do as Hispanics to the community as well. As the much that we receive, the migrant community also it's a community that works hard and contributes to the society as a general. The Consulate of Mexico. Mexico has this year 52 consulates. We opened 2. We used to have 50. We opened 2 new consulates in the United States. We have 11 consulates in Texas, the 9 in California alone. Those 2 states have 20 consulates. We are all over the United States and fostering this relationship with cities, as we do with Mayor here, Buck, and with the City Council and with the authorities all along. In terms of trade, Michigan is a key partner in the U.S. trade partnership. If the states were separate countries, our first trade partner will be Texas, our second trade partner will be California, and our third will be Michigan. It is really important to have in mind that the amount of trade we have it's enormous. I just put it into perspective with the bridge. But the thing is, we can put into perspective as well with the amount the whole United States trades with Spain and Turkey together. It's the amount that Mexico trades with Michigan alone. So that relationship is strong, is building. We have a lot of companies here in Michigan that invest in Mexico, and they have a lot of workers there. And also they bring workers from Mexico here, and Mexican companies that also invest here in Michigan. By 2017, the jobs supported by trade between Mexico and Michigan, it was 128,600. That obviously took a hit with the pandemic. But now it's slightly bigger, the number. The exports to Mexico accounting for 20% of this total exports, and imports from Mexico and Michigan, it's around 41% of the imports. 41% of the total of things that the state of Michigan buys to the world is from Mexico. And that is really important to know, because Michigan takes pride of being a state with agriculture, but you have severe winters, and you don't stop eating in winter. So we provide food as well to the state here to Michigan. So that's the thing that we have. We have a huge chunk of the automotive industry that comprises this trade, but the second biggest chunk is agricultural. We buy a lot of agricultural products from Michigan, mainly dairy, and we sell as well a lot of agricultural products. Well, the automotive obviously is a success story. Obviously, is this big industry that has a very important engine, economic engine for Michigan. It's not only an important engine for economic engine for Michigan, but for the relationship we have together. It has been said that with the supply chain as integrated as it is right now, even though we have distortions during the pandemic, by the time it's been built, it has already crossed the border 11 times. Been going and coming, and it is really important to have this in mind when somebody talks about we buy a lot, we Americans buy a lot from Mexico. Yes, but we in Mexico buy a lot from the United States as well, and it's a both ways. Whatever you receive sometimes as trade, it was because we did something to that in Mexico and return back to the United States. So the raw materials we use sometimes are basically from the United States. And the same happens in the United States. Some raw materials that use are transformed here in the United States and then sent back to Mexico. So this supply chain is completely integrated between these two countries, the United States and Mexico, and especially in Michigan with these supply chains that is really integrated. I just want to finish saying what is the most things that Mexico sells to Michigan. Mexico sells to Michigan cars, trucks, auto parts, engines, seats, insulated wire, lights to cars, parts of engines, electrical boards, and electrical machines. Those are those shares. It's around 68% of the trade we have together. But Michigan sells to Mexico auto parts, parts to engines, articles of plastic, screws and bolts, seats, polymers and ethylene, trucks, appliance of thermoballs, electric batteries. Everything is built back together in Mexico and comes back. It comes back to the United States, and the same happens with the things that Mexico sells to the United States. So this integrated relationship, it is really important, and it is not to be dismissed. Just like simply saying we buy too much to Mexico, yes, but we also sell too much to Mexico. And it is important to understand that the supply chains are really integrated right now, and that we have a healthy economic relationship. Now, the universities talking about what we're doing is you can see here the universities, the consulate in the. From your left side, is you can see the universities of Michigan that are already involved in getting more students from Mexico, sending students as well from here to Mexico, and getting researchers from Mexico and doing dual research between these universities. And the universities of Mexico that are already involved are UNAM, an arm of UNAM, which is FES Acatlán, Politécnico Nacional, which is both of the biggest universities in Mexico, and the third university, the biggest university in Mexico, is the one that is there. It is the University of the State of Mexico. It is a university that has is in this most populated state of our country. It has around the president of the university came to meet with presidents here of the universities, and he was telling they have around 200,000 students in their matricula. So they have it in seven campus that they have all around the state. So they have a lot of opportunities in exploring as well. The state of Mexico has so much similarities with the state of Michigan, because they have the automotive industry there, and they have a lot of agricultural involvement. So it is really important, that relationship that is developing. And ITAM, it's a small university, private university, but also is in contact with a small private university in this side, which is Detroit Mercy. And what else we have? And I cannot. The University of Guadalajara and the University of Chapingo. These both universities, the Guadalajara is highly specialized in medical field, so they are very interested in getting in contact with Michigan State. Here in Grand Rapids, you have an amazing development in research in the medical field that they are willing to have more interchange of views and research and getting more in contact with universities in Mexico. And University of Chapingo, which is specialized in developing new crops and resistant to some kind of bugs and some kind of pests. And they also have a really strong relation with Michigan State University. So, well, basically, I don't want to take much of the time. If you have some questions, I'm happy to answer them. But it is basically, in general, what I wanted to say today.
You said that Ottawa County has about 10% population, Hispanic population. Has that been consistent over the last 15, 20 years, or has it diminished or increased?
It has been increasing. Before the pandemic, Ottawa County, in terms of population, it had around 8 point something. Now it's 9.7. I closed the number to 10, but it's 9.7, something like that, and it is increasing.
Do you have the numbers for Ottawa County? Do you have the numbers just for the city of Holland, or Holland Township?
I don't.
I can tell you that we have approximately 24% Hispanic representation within the city of Holland boundaries, which are much smaller than, Ottawa County, but there's a concentration within the city of Holland.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
I just have a comment. There are lots and lots of people who are bilingual going to school right here in Holland at the university level. They're with Grand Rapids Community College, and some of my friends are there.
Awesome.
They're the first in their family.
Well, and that's amazing. Seeing people that for the first time their family they have the family in the university is people that it's obviously struggling to send their kids to school, but they do it, and then they want to have a better life for their kids.
Of the numbers of Hispanics here in the state, how many are going ahead and getting their citizenship in the United States as opposed to coming and then going back home to Mexico, or just staying here without the citizenship?
Well, it depends. From the big number of Hispanics, around 75% are Mexican nationals. For them, I can talk a little bit more than for the general. But for the Mexican part, a big part of that number will be seasonal workers. And they stay here a while, and they go back to Mexico. They go circular, or they go circular around the United States. There's huge number of seasonal workers that come to North Michigan that live either in Texas or in Florida. This year we saw that Mexican nationals that used to come from Florida to here to Michigan didn't arrive, and it was because of the laws that were passed in Florida that restrained the mobility of undocumented people. So they were they have fear that if they leave, they won't be able to come back to their houses, so they decided to stay. And as in my talks with several farmers, there were some apple growers that were very disappointed because they having now the picking season, and they are harvesting and they need the people, but people didn't arrive this time. And for one part, the ones that are here are better paid, but for the other part, it's the prices of the products increases, and obviously impacts the economy as a whole. So that is something that we can see in those aspects. But this big part of the population, the Mexican population, is circular, and they don't look up for citizenship. There's one part that they stay here, mainly professionals in the automotive industry. We have around 11,000 families of engineers in Metro Detroit, Macomb County, Wayne County, and Oakland County. In these three counties, 11,000 Mexican families working in the auto industry. Those people usually, for the kind of visa they have, they can apply for a legal residence, and maybe if they want, they can apply for citizenship. The ones who can, around half do it, and the other half that never do it. So.
Could you share with the rest of the group the impressive system you have for providing passport services and ID services right here in Holland?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your support in that. We've been able to come to serve the Mexican nationals who live here in the area, thanks to the support of the city, and we bring a whole team from the consulate with all the computers that connect with our database in Mexico, and we can give them passports here. So if one person comes and needs a passport, from the moment he arrives to the moment he gets his passport is around 1 hour and 10 minutes. It is an impressive operation we do it there without diminishing the security measures that they need to have in order to issue a passport. Obviously, since we are connected with our database in Mexico, we know if that person that comes or is in front of us has a valid passport, if he doesn't have one, he used to have one, or how many passports he have before he have this one that is applying now. Obviously, we have already his picture, and if he comes with a different, they are renewing this passport and comes and present the passport, but the person doesn't look alike, it's obvious something is wrong, and we need to do more research about it. But the thing is, for the vast majority of people that we serve, they came and obtained their passports in 1 hour and 10 minutes.
And how many did you serve last time?
Last time we came, we served 500 people in 2 days.
And how often do you come?
Well, this year we came 2 weeks, 2 complete weeks in here, and next year, hopefully, with the help of the city and our friends, Johnny, where are you? We're gonna come for 4 weeks, 4 times in a year. The Consulate of Wheels works every year, so we cover all Michigan and North of Ohio, so we go all around all year long. We don't stop with the snow, so we keep going.
You mentioned books in Spanish. What are some of the other needs that people in the community need for them, whether it's families or people who are working here?
Well, one of the most pressing needs is it's health. They usually don't have health insurance, so we know that, and we try to make partnerships. Here we have a health window in the consulate that associates with different clinics to do screenings and see if that people applies for this or that advantage in some places, so they can go and have those services. In terms of Spanish, as you mentioned, yes, we have that in education. We have a literacy program as well, because sometimes people that came, they are illiterate in Spanish, and they don't learn English because they are illiterate. So not because they don't like. So once we apply the program of being literate in Spanish, they learn English, and it's actually an excellent program that helps a lot of communities in here. Thank you. Sure.
Consul, what percentage of the people that you work with would have, say, green cards or the ability to pass freely across the border? So if we were desiring to do business or to create an opportunity and have professional engineers or that kind of thing, that would be able to do work both, say, in a Mexican facility and here in Michigan?
By the people I work, you mean the staff that work in the consulate?
No, but I mean like the people that your consulate serves.
Okay.
Here in Michigan, what percentage of them would you say have green cards or have the legal flexibility and freedom to cross across the Mexican-American border?
That will be around 40%.
About for-
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could speak briefly about your impressive kind of tactics and what the consulate has been doing to help repatriate individuals who are ill and individuals who are elderly back to Mexico, because I don't think that's something that people think about, and it's wonderful work that you all are doing.
Thank you. Yes, we have a legal office in the consulate that has to do with these issues, mainly repatriations. We repatriate sometimes minors. With this program, that if a minor comes to the border with an adult, they send it to immigration facilities to get an adult to get to them. But since they were alone, and sometimes the parents are in Mexico, they cannot go and pick it up. So we go to this Office of Immigration and repatriate these kids back to Mexico. That's one of the things we do in repatriation. We do as well repatriate people that is ill and they don't have family here. We search in our net of offices in Mexico, some hospital in the state they are going to in Mexico, so they can receive them. They make sure that they have medical attention, and then talk to our partners here that have been amazing to help us with nurses. There are Mexican American nurses that lend their time to go with us and repatriate these people back to Mexico. So that is really really amazing what we've been doing in that field, and as well as people that they say, well, my American dream came to an end. I have no money. I need to go back to Mexico. Well, you can. Here's a ticket, a plane ticket. Go back to Mexico. We can do all those kinds of repatriations. Yes.
Just to add, I know you mentioned the legal services that you offer, and I've been working with some people recently at
Yes, I believe it started since the office is open. Our consulate opened 103 years ago. So since then we have hired different lawyers for different things. The times changed, obviously, and nowadays we have legal services for Mexican nationals in terms of immigration, criminal law, civil law, and in terms of family court issues as well. We cannot do or help any Mexican national that's been involved in a DUI. We cannot help any Mexican national. For example, that is in a divorce with another Mexican national. We cannot help divorces of two Mexican nationals because otherwise we will pay double. but we can help in several things. But it's important for us that when we reach out to the Mexican community, letting them know that these services exist in the consulate, so they can come as soon as they have noticed they have a legal problem. Otherwise, they will come at the end asking what is the consulate doing for me? Well, I think nothing. You already finished all the steps in the legal system. You should come first so we can do something for you. Otherwise, we cannot push the legal system to do something for you that doesn't do for a United States national. It just doesn't happen. We need to respect the laws of the country you are. So that is the thing. That is the importance to have these lawyers at hand when a Mexican national needs them. Yes. Do you have any? Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Council, I just wanted to thank you and your staff. Sometimes we in West Michigan think that we're overlooked, even by our own government, much less an international government. And your team, your staff, both your team and the one that Fernando before you has done a great job paying attention to West Michigan, connecting with our cities and our citizens and our universities. So thank you for seeing the state of Michigan as a whole.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
I would like to invite everyone in the audience to step upstairs to the atrium for a small reception in honor of el Consul General de Mexico in Detroit.
Thank you. Thank you.